This is the Sanyo MG09D phono cartridge, can be had under 20 euros, and if you ever bought a cheap record player that's not too cheap, you will know this cartridge. They came in Akai record players, they came in Iron record players, they came in cheap Lenko record players, and it does what it's supposed to do, I guess. This is the Numark Groove Tool, the cheapest DJ cartridge out there. The exact same thing, except now with a conical stylus that's the same on all sides rather than an elliptical one, so you can backtrack your record, like turn it the other direction without ruining the stylus or the record. You can have a Numark Groove Tool for 17, 18, sometimes 20 euros. And this is the Mustang. It's a cartridge that is, as far as I know, new to the market. I've never seen it before. And it can be had for a whopping 299 euros, and the similarities are uncanny. So, here we have a brand new Numark Groove Tool and a brand new Mustang. Cartridges that are 280 euros apart, and we're going to compare them to see if looks can be deceiving, because don't get me wrong, it's pretty normal for companies to use the same cartridge body but change everything else. But it's also quite normal for companies to change nothing but the branding. Like for instance, Rega's Carbon cartridge is identical to the Audio-Technica AT3600L, but twice as expensive. How about this Mustang? Is it just looks, or are there actual differences? To figure this out, we're first going to look at them and obviously in the end listen to these cartridges, and you can be your own judge. The specs are, to say the least, a bit suspicious. So the Mustang says it has an elliptical stylus, as does the original Sanyo. The Numark says it has a spherical or conical stylus. That makes sense since it's a DJ cartridge. Other than that, the specs seem identical. They have the same tracking force, which is very high for a hi-fi cartridge. They usually don't get anywhere over 2.5 grams. That's where this one starts. And they sort of have the same output. So we put them under a microscope and compared the two cartridges. They seem pretty similar. The stylus shape is hard to see unless you have a very fancy microscope, but at least they are both bonded, which is a bit of blasphemy for an expensive cartridge. You're supposed to shoot the stylus into the cantilever rather than glue it, which is what bonded means. A proper cartridge usually has a nude stylus, so it's shot in there. It's a process that goes wrong more often and it takes a bit more precision, but it does sound better because the glue dampens the sound of the vibrations. The cantilevers too seem to be identical. They seem to be made from the same material, same thickness. They both are, I assume, aluminium. And the stylus tips are sort of the same radius, at least as far as we can see in this microscope. A difference that is very obvious though is that where the cantilever enters the cartridge, the Mustang has a blue little square and the Numark has a black square. We're not sure if that has any reason, but it is the only difference we can really see except for the color of the stylus carrier, which is red on the Numark and black on the Mustang. What's also strange, we unboxed them right after each other. We even unboxed the Numark first, yet the Mustang seems a bit dirty where the Numark is completely clean. May tell you a thing or two about quality control, or maybe it is just a coincidence. I have no other units to compare with. The mounting hardware too is identical. They even come with exactly the same screws. So the real differences so far, except for the colors, is, well, the box, I guess. To determine what's really going on here, we're gonna have to listen. Let's install both cartridges on the same record player using a brand new head shell, and let's compare. We're gonna listen to them side by side, and I'm gonna put on the screen which one you're listening to. I'll also add a shot of the recording into the computer just for a little bit of variety, otherwise it would become a very boring video. The song you're gonna listen to is The Wolves, Out of Step and LRDs. Not the best recording, not the best pressing, but we don't need perfection, we need to be able to compare, and it is obviously the same song every time. Also, it's an awesome song. So if you don't care about phono cartridges or vinyl or record players, enjoy the music.
Homesick in a hotel room, my heart is on a plane. When it took off, only a parachute or a U-turn could bring her back. Baby, I got a show tonight for the next 100 years. And when I'm gone, I'll cry my eyes out for a woman home alone. melodies in La La Land. Sometimes life is fair, get more than you deserve, and then it comes to take it all away. What did you reserve? Baby, I'm coming home tonight.
You know what, let's add an Audio-Technica AT-VM95E to the comparison.
I'ma do the best I can. I'ma try to be a man, and I can't even pour myself a glass of wine, for I am drunk and fat and I'm about to lose my mind. I'm about to lose most my friends. I'm out of stability and La La Land. Myself a glass of wine, for I am drunk and fat and I'm about to lose my mind. I'm about to lose most my friends. I'm out of stability in La La Land. I'm out of stability in La La Land.
Well, as I said, you be the judge. There are two things that I would like to share with you. First of all, that Audio-Technica AT-VM95E that we added to the equation later, it's a €50 cartridge. And there's a cheaper Audio-Technica cartridge, the AT3600E, that's a €35 cartridge. You do with that information as you please. If you're in the market for an expensive cartridge, maybe in the price range of the Mustang though, have a look at, for instance, the Denon DL110, the Nagaoka MP150, Goldring 2300, the Goldring 1012, and also Audio-Technica has some nice cartridges. I really like the AT-VM95E that we already heard. It can be easily upgraded. The E stands for elliptical and you can upgrade it to an ML, which is microline. It's a lot more expensive. By the time you're done, the cartridge is not 50 euros but 180 euros, but it's a huge upgrade. Definitely worth your investment if you're into good sounding vinyl. With that, guys, have a good night, keep them spinning, and don't forget, in the end, it's about the music. Buy more vinyl.